Good afternoon. I will have the pleasure to show you how ServiceNow can support the processing of personal identifiable information, also called PII, and how we map these results into the CMDB with the processing activities. First thing first, of course, is to have a view about what that means for us. You have typically two ways to identify personal identifiable information. The first one is scanning through databases and structured data, and ServiceNow doesn't do this out of the box. Something else is the capability to ask the business owners and the system owners if they know that personal information assets are actually processed in their systems. So to do that, we typically will use our GRC solution to show how to ask this kind of question and collect results. In this example, I will have profiled my business services or key applications in different categories, and for those which are processing PII data, I will have added a specific control that I want all the owners of these applications to actually test regularly. On that particular profile type, I have added a control to regularly attest that what PII are processed and for which processing activities. So if I try to run this control for one of our profiles here, I will take SAP Financial Accounting as an example. If I am the system owner, I will be able, with this view, to have access to all my existing controls, etc. One particularly around my PII request. If I open this particular control, I will attest it regularly here quarterly, automatically coming back to a new attestation cycle, sending this specific questionnaire to the respondents. It can be more than one person here. I will not wait for the quarter. Of course, I will attest manually this control now, which will create an attestation that all the recipients will receive. If I go to my attestations here, I will be able to see that for SAP Financial Accounting, I have one attestation to pass. And by taking this simple questionnaire, of course, a real implementation will be much more detailed and directly connected to your databases. But you can see here, if I say, yes, I process some personal data, I can identify typically what kind of information, some identity, some financial data as well, probably some health data, some genetic data, etc. And if I do that, I will be able as well to select what kind of processing activities are supporting this. And here is really for sales. I want to sell insurances, for instance, so I need identity, I need health information, some genetic information as well. All right, so I will be able as well to attach, of course, evidence about this PII and these processing activities and draw some comments if required. Now, if I submit this, I have access to all these results through the control. All the evidence is attached directly as attestations for this particular control, for this particular system. So I will be able to use this information to escalate that to the owners of our CMDB and enrich the content and create the actual system of data for information assets and business processes. It will look something like this. This is an example of a specific information asset table that we've created into the CMDB, a new CI class in here, and we have decided here to go to a low level of detail, not only to the information typology, but really to some kind of records that you can manipulate into your systems. If I take one of those examples, that personal name, for instance, which is of course very classical, everybody will store personal names into their system. I can see that, first of all, I have identified ownerships for that. I see that it is in production, could be as well maybe in test and in development with different attachments, but I've been able to relate this information asset to a specific database here. It is stored in my SAP Oracle database. It's probably stored in 200 other databases as well, but we have simplified the model by default here in this demo set. But by identifying the database, I can relate back to the servers which are processing this database, the application servers, etc. I will relate it as well to processes here. I have a recruitment process that processes this data and recruitment is a sub-process of recruit to retire. If I want to have a look at the graphical representation of this reality, to draw the three key dimensions we want to represent in our CMDB today to support GDPR correctly. First of all, the technology, from the applications or the business services at the top to the application, well, to the load balancers, the application servers, etc., and the database, but as well the information assets which are stored somewhere in the database, and the processes which are processing this particular activity. And of course, if I'm a security analyst, if I identify that there is a particular security incident on this database, an attempted connection here, because I know that there are some sensitive data like personal names into that database, I will be able to tag this incident immediately and escalate it to the DPO and probably to the regulator. If I want to zoom on this particular asset, I would see that actually not only I have personal name, but I have a lot of other information assets here: address, security, social security number, bank account, credit card number, etc. That is really a very sensitive database. Hence, every critical security incident involving data here or not expected connection could be tagged GDPR and escalated through the organization for immediate reporting within 72 hours. So as you can see here, the key interest of identifying information assets across the organization and relating that to processes is to be able to enrich your CMDB and create the connection between these three key elements: the technology, the information assets, and the processes which are actually processing this data in that technology. Thank you very much.